hello. There we go. These will do the job. Alright guys, so I bought a radium rail. I've been having issues with my fuel system, and I mean, as you guys know from the last video, that I just finished this fuel system here. It's actually not doing so hot right now. Not exactly sure what the hell's going on, but I'm losing pressure at the rail somewhere in boost, so I run lean. I took the car out for a little bit to play with it. I raced an R1, which was not exactly something I was expecting to be doing. I was in the middle of rewiring my pumps, which these are just obviously needs to be redone. It looks like total dog shit, so it's going to be redone anyways. And I thought that maybe rewiring the pumps would fix my lean issue, and then I got called out to race an R1, so I actually recorded it, so you'll probably see the video now. During that video, I did spin a little bit in third, and I was running super fucking lean, so I was running at like 13.4 or so, and like 18 pounds of boost, on pretty conservative timing. I'm really trying as hard as I can to get this going, because next week, on the 20th, is going to be the first event, Test and Tune, at the drag strip. I'm trying as hard as I can to get this ready. The only thing that's left on my car that is stock is the stock fuel rail in the system up there, my vvti rail. This one right here has dash 8 ORB fittings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run dual feed on this. I'm going to have my 8AN line that goes to the front. It's going to Y off, and it's going to feed both ends, and then it's going to return out the middle, go by my regulator and whatnot. Well, my battery's going to die, but you guys are going to miss some things. In order to negate the entire issue, I ended up buying a whole bunch of new stuff. So I ordered a new 450. The old one might be bad, I'm not sure. It might be low pressure. I ended up getting some goodies. You know, I'm going to go ahead and change my surge tank, install a swirl pot. Pumps will be submerged the entire time. They'll stay cool, whatnot. Radium rail, 8AN, both sides, and an 8AN return. I was going to do a 6AN, but I forgot that I only ordered 8 ORB fittings. So it's not going to be a big issue. It's fine. I've got the fitting or whatever that'll fit my fuel regulator. The new fuel pump is installed. Doesn't leak. Works good. I figured I'd replace it since, you know, the damn thing sat in E85 for 2 years, doing all the work. And then before that, it was in 91 for probably 2 or 3 years or 4 years or whatever. Also, I figured that my ground for these is probably not that good. Yeah, you guys can totally dog on me for that. I should have knew better. Finding out that these are not that good, I went ahead and instead of 14 gauge, we are going to use 10 gauge, and I'm going to run the negatives directly to the battery negative, and then we're going to change all these lines to a 10 gauge, and I'm probably going to change the positive from the battery that goes to the relays to a 10 gauge as well. These are 30 amp relays, so they're more than enough for these pumps, because at a max these are 18 amp pull. When I was checking the voltage on them at the pumps, when the pumps were on, it was pulling 9 volts when I have 12 volts at the battery, which is absolutely terrible. Whenever I disconnect the wires from the pumps, it reads the same, like maybe 0.03 or 4 difference from the battery. So what I believe is that the negative is not that good, so my ground needs to be moved, and I'm going to put it on the battery, because what better ground is there than the battery itself? The pumps were probably pulling too many amps, and for the simple fact that I had both pumps on the same ground in a small area that was never even intended to be a ground in the first place. I'm going to rewire this entire trunk bay again. Sadly, all of this beautiful stuff is going to go bye-bye, but simple enough. These are going to be disconnected or whatever, and they're just going to mount directly on the swirl pot, and I'll probably put the swirl pot over here this time, so these lines can have some little breathing room. But the swirl pot would do better here since it's a big old fucking box, you know. and then, of course, we'll rewire everything. The next thing is I'm going to be running a Y off my feed line. Struggling really bad with this because in 8 days is the first race event of the season, and I need to get this done. So I'm struggling, trying to get this done for you guys because I want to film for the first day of the season. Alright, so I'm going to get started on this. Alright guys, well, I got the stock rail off. For comparison, here's a radium rail compared to the stock rail. Now, on the stock rail, the bore on these things is actually a lot less than even a 6AN. If you look in there, you can see that you're really limited. That's kind of beyond me how I even made over 500 horsepower on this thing. And here's the radium rail. The radium rail itself has actually got a bigger bore than the 8AN fittings I have, because this is actually decent size to run a 10AN fitting. Like, this thing is huge. Like, the bore is absolutely massive. Alright guys, I really wish I could make this look better, but there's not really much I can do. Got the rail in, it's wide off, runs down, tees off, 8AN to the fuel pressure regulator, goes back to the tank. Now, the moment of truth is to see if this thing is going to leak. So let's go ahead and try, I suppose. Oh yeah, I forgot to plug stuff in. Alright. Well, so far we're leaking on one injector. Well, that's not good. My regulator read like 150 psi, I guess. I don't know how that works. Okay, so upon further investigation, I did take my regulator apart the other day, and I was checking to see if anything was wrong with the diaphragm, because I was having, pressure drop off. Well, I put it together wrong, so one of the plates that was supposed to go on top of the spring, where you put the screw down, it pushes on the spring so it increases your pressure. Well, for some reason I thought it went underneath the spring, underneath the plate that sits on top of the return hole that goes back into the tank. And yeah, well, it increased my pressure to like 170 psi. And I mean, I have no complaints. Bros, I didn't even leak. I didn't leak anywhere. I can't believe how strong that little guy is. Wow, he definitely gets the job done, I tell you what. Anyways, I'm gonna call it a night right now, and then tomorrow I'm gonna come back out, and I got a leak on an injector, so I'm gonna change an O-ring, and then hopefully the thing will go smoothly, and I'll swap out the fuel system. But I'll see you guys tomorrow.